But don't people normally do that with some sort of more innocent story? Here he's doing it with, I performed an act of serious and egregious violence against someone because they were being mean to me. No back teeth equals good BJs. Are you sat here fantasizing about an Asmongold sloppy toppy? You are insane.
There were like maggots in the snack box, and I would eat the food with the maggots inside of the food. It was like honey buns, which were really, really good. And to be honest, I didn't even really taste them.
Like an animal for 13 years, so here's why. With Asmongold, I feel like there's this tendency, and it's like this element of, well, I'm just a completely, you know, degenerate, disgusting piece of shit, and that's just what I am. Do you see what I mean? It's like just, there must be a name for this, where you bite the bullet on some sort of insane thing to seem like you're not bothered by it, but it's like, it's to everyone else, it's like grotesque and disgusting behavior, right? There's got to be like a name for that sort of dynamic. But anyway, nonetheless, he put this video out. Apparently there's some funny stuff in this. Let's have a little look and see what happens.
Hey guys, it's me, and today I want to answer a question that a lot of people have been asking me my whole life, and more importantly, they've been asking me a lot recently, especially online. And that question comes in many forms, but it always distilled down to the same thing, which is, in one form or another, why are you like this? Whether it's the dead rat alarm clock, the barbecue puke shower curtain, dead animals in the house, or any other one of the stories that are just an indicator of me living like a complete fucking animal, people...
Imagine saying that concept, the dead rat alarm clock. Try and say that to a normie and see what they think about that. Dude, this is like, it's so crazy that he has just accepted his squalor. And, you know, it's like...
Okay, that's wonderful.
It's like,
but how do I make money
it's a sickness.
off depressed people?
This is a sickness.
It's called low class.
Thank you for the super chats.
People always wonder, why would a person live like this? Why would a person be like this? Why am I like this? And I think that honestly, you know, there's a lot of answers for this. I really don't want to make this like a super long video. So hopefully I can distill it down to some main points and not really go off on too many tangents, although I think that I probably will, because there's a lot of like history with it and everything like that. And so...
Oh, I didn't actually know what it was. I know about the blood, the gun blood on the wall. I know about that. But I'm being told in chat, when the sun hits the rat, it starts smelling. That's how he tells the time. Are you serious? Is that actually what it is?
Basically, the first thing you need to know about me is that I actually, if you can believe this, I know this might sound shocking, is that I actually have not always been like this. This is a relatively new thing for me. And I think that it really kind of started a lot when, I would say in high school, and then later on, it kind of entered phase 2. And that was probably somewhere around 21 or 23, somewhere around there in those age groups. And that's whenever, you know, the degeneracy really kind of went, you know, it ratcheted up to the next level. I leveled up, new expansion release, DLC, etc., right? And so this happened then. Because as a kid, I was actually very much like a very conscientious kid in the way that I basically didn't really want to be perceived in a negative way.
I mean, I'm sure he's going to talk. This is mental illness. This is, you know, it is not normal mental behavior to live in squalor. You know, you have a natural tendency to want to live in a nice place. I mean, literal fucking animals have this element, right? Where they want to live in a tidy, like you see animals like fucking, I don't know, what's the ones that build dams and shit, you know, all that sort of thing. You know, they don't want to live in like, they go and defecate somewhere. They don't just shit where they live, etc., 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 right? Armchair diagnosing. Wait, is it armchair diagnosing to say someone that lives in squalor is probably mentally ill? Is that really armchair diagnosing now?
I wanted to be seen as a good person, etc.
Yeah, can't use a litter box, exactly.
I've always had a big problem with being able to like relate to other people because I think that I'm just
a cat is probably a good example of someone that, you know, has got an area they defecate and do their business in. They clean themselves a lot, etc. Right? So yeah. Probably a good example.
Bit off, right? I wouldn't say that I don't have a moral compass, but I would say that my moral compass doesn't point north. And this has been a problem in a lot of cases in my life, whether it's with relationships or friendships or anything in between. I've had a lot of problems because of that.
Sliggins, thanks for the 5 gifted memberships. That's super generous.
And in the process of this, I've learned a lot of things about myself, and the main thing is that my take and my view on moral issues is not...
Cats piss and shit in random places if they feel like it, even if it's their place to sleep. They just think they'll get a new place. Dude, no, that's not true. What are you on about? That's completely wrong. Have you ever had a cat before? Cats don't fucking do that shit. The reason they will do that... Bro, you're literally retarded. I've got no idea what you're talking about. My kids have got a cat, okay? Now, initially, obviously, they go to a place and do their business there, but that's because they're trying to mark it out in some way or territorize it or something like that. Or they don't have a place to go, even. But normally, it's like they're trying to stake that place out as the place they do their business, and you've got to, like, you know, eventually get to a point where they always do it in the litter box. But they would not shit where they sleep. That's absurd, right? Yes, obviously they do it outside of the litter box, but that often is a sign of a younger cat that's still learning. Eventually, they learn to do it in the litter box, and also they do it outside somewhere too. They spend a lot of time outside, and presumably they go and find a little place that they've staked out as their little area, and they do it there too.
What I would say a normal person thinks. And this has caused me a lot of problems. And especially like as a young kid, you know, being able to like interact and fit in with people, it's a weird dichotomy because the truth is I actually always did have a lot of friends and I never had problems making friends. But at the same time, I always felt like I was very different from a lot of other people because of the way that I felt. I used to have, for a comparison, just a point of reference, I guess you could say.
Official Susie Rottencrotch. I sleep in my cum and it stinks.
I used to have my mom read me all of the different like sins in the Bible and everything because I understood even as a little kid. I'm like, there's something wrong with you. You know, like you better learn this so that way there aren't any problems in the future. And so I would have her read all of these to me. That way I would understand how to behave, right? Because it just never came naturally to me. Things that come naturally to other people were not natural and are not natural. It's not like things have changed. If anything, they've probably gotten worse. As I've gotten older. And so I've always had a big problem being able to like, you know, understand like where, you know, how you should act, how you should treat people, what you should do, how you should say things, etc. So almost everything that I do is a learned performance rather than an innate social, I don't know, like instinct, if that makes sense. And hopefully the performance is good. I consider myself kind of a good actor, at least, right? But of course,
I'm a bit okay. So I think he's talking about how when he was a kid, he used to be more conscientious. His mother read sins to him. Now he's talking about putting on a performance. I'm a bit lost, but we'll probably wrap back round to me understanding.
There are going to be cracks and outtakes as well. And so those are usually in the form of the Twitter clips with 100,000 likes. And so anyway, as a kid, I was always treated this way. And, you know, people thought that I was a little bit off, a little bit weird. Like one time, like, for example, there was a kid that I was like playing with baseball with him. And he was annoying me, making me mad. And so I hit the ball and I hit it with the explicit intention of hitting him in the face with the ball. And I did. And so I remember there was blood all over the kid's face. He like broke his tooth and everything, and everybody was standing around like what the fuck? Like what?
Wait, how that dude intentionally hitting someone with a baseball is a pretty crazy feat. It seems like an odd thing to lie about, so I would presume that it's true. It would be such an odd thing to make up that you hit someone in the face with a baseball. It's so absurd that I would assume it's true. But dude, that is a 1 in 1,000 shot or something.
Well, this is like terrible. And I remember walking up, this was like the best day of my fucking life. This happened. And I was so happy. And I could see that other people were made very uncomfortable around this. And that's whenever I started trying to like really kind of mask my emotions and how I felt about things, because it was very evident to me that I was not really normal. And this has been, again, a huge problem my whole life, but that was pretty much the first, at least the time that I can remember in my mind, the first time that I can remember that.
Have you ever seen real Asmongold after the stream when he first started on the Zach Raw channel? He's actually pretty monotone, low energy when he's himself. A lot of the ego high. Okay, he's acting when he's being egotistical and stuff.
And see that, wow, this didn't go over the way that I thought it would go over, because I was so happy and nobody else is happy and they think I'm like a bad person. But it's like, from my...
I mean, regardless of whether or not the story is true or fake, I mean, dude, I would lean to it being so absurd it's probably true. It's just an odd thing to make up a lie about. But you can think differently, that's fine. What this comes down to, though, is... So you were surprised that you committed an act of physical violence against someone and the people around you were, like, not liking that. I mean, yeah, obviously that's going to be, a very horrendous thing. Because even if someone is being mean to you or bullying you or something, that is quite an extreme thing to do in response. Normally, someone gets pushed to the point where they fight back a bit or something. But, like, you're intentionally targeting someone to injure them quite badly. I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, getting pleasure from hurting someone is pretty wild to that level.
My perspective, that's not how I saw it. And, from my perspective, rip bozo. So, this is a big problem. And this happens in middle school as well. I cared a lot about, like, how I looked, how I dressed.
Oh, don't worry. Watching your back is here to sweep for Asmon. It's all good. He's illustrating that when he found out he's different than others. Okay. So it's a story to demonstrate that he's a bit different. But don't people normally do that with some sort of more innocent story? Here he's doing it with, I performed an act of serious and egregious violence against someone because they were being mean to me. I mean, it's quite an extreme example, but sure, I see what you mean. Let's continue.
Etc. in middle school. I mean, really, who doesn't? And, I really tried to take myself seriously, and, I tried to have a good impression, etc., do the right things, say the right things, wear the right things, be the right kind of person. And going into high school, I kind of got, there's a weird thing where, like, I ended up going to, like, one high school that I didn't want to go to, and then I ended up going to another high school after that, after I told my parents that if they didn't change me over, I would kill myself and fail every single class, which, to be halfway...
Wait, what? Okay, wait a second. Also, this comment in chat, he literally learned that it's socially unacceptable to hurt others. That's normal for kids. He's twisting it and being weirdly obsessive. Okay. Bro, the idea you got pleasure out of it at all. Normally, I would have thought that a kid would do that and be shocked at what had happened. Especially if they're, like, bleeding and stuff. You'd be like, oh no, it's gone too far. Like, it's too much. But, okay, I don't want to dwell on this point, okay? I think that is indicative of some pretty crazed thinking. But if you disagree and you think it's just a kid learning, whatever, I'm not going to split hairs over it. I think it's fucking psychotic. That's my view on it.
I want to go to, and then I ended up going to another high school after that, after I told my parents that if they didn't change me over, I would kill myself and fail every single class. Which, to be I was halfway followed through with that, because my first semester in that high school, I had a GPA of a 0.08. It was actually impressive. It was hard to do. I had to go out of my way for this. And so then I ended up...
I'm going to stay. I've just got this vivid flashback to the Jeffrey Dahmer show. Jeffrey Dahmer's got like a fucking 0.5% GPA and gets kicked out. Whoa. Hang on a second. I'm seeing some other similarities here, dude. These dead animals knocking about. Uh-oh.
Getting transferred over, and I went to the school where my friends were. And I think that, like, the high school that I had originally gone to was a much more superficial, much more, like, like a higher class high school, because my dad wanted me to go there because,
He probably has got undiagnosed ASD or ASPD. Thank you for the $2 Australian.
Like, he wanted me to go to school to get an education. Imagine that. I wanted to go to school to hang out with my friends. So there was a bit of a disconnect there. And so I go over to the other school, and I realized that I need to stop caring about what people think about me, because I saw the people that were in that other school, and I realized that's not the kind of person that I wanted to be, because they were the more extreme version of the person that I was trying to be. And at that point, I realized that I didn't really want to be like other people, and I had to develop, I guess, my own identity. And this was at, like, I would say 14 or 15. And that happened, and that continued all the way through high school. And, you know, I was always like, you know, I never really had a girlfriend, right, in high school or anything like that. Maybe, you know, I talked to a girl, but not really, okay? And so I was never really treated very well by, you know, a lot of girls or anything like that. And big surprise, imagine that. And so anyway, this happened.
Oh, Brudex has got to take it. This is desperation to create badass law for himself. Dude, I'm a bit... Okay. I guess I'm just a bit bemused as to what the meaning of any of this is, and I guess how it's going to tie in to him living like an animal. I don't know, dude. Obviously, I've never aimed a baseball at someone's face, but obviously I've been on this earth for 38 years, and stuff has happened to me, whatever, I've done stuff, etc. I just would never feel the need to publicly disclose it to that level, unless it's a funny, entertaining story from your past. You know, it's telling a story like that is just wild to me. But anyway.
Happened, and you know, I kind of got used to this, and it was normal. So I would try to improve myself, and you know, like make myself look better, and try to do this, and it would just be met with the same outcome, which was a massive failure. Big surprise. You know, being a level 60 warrior isn't as attractive to women as it is to other 16-year-old guys. And so anyway, I had this happen, and you know, I eventually kind of got to the point where I was more comfortable with that.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for the $5, Smoky Guru. Exactly. Telling all, like Brudex is saying. So for all those reasons and more, I refuse to clean my house. I guess the point he's making is I'm a mentally deranged freak, so that's why I don't clean my house. Which, you know, I kind of knew before. But anyway.
And I stopped really caring as much about what, you know, like people would think about me, and, you know, in general, just like people's perception of me. And this kind of got worse as time goes on. And I think that I spent like my teenage years primarily trying to disconnect myself and trying to remove myself from the obligation to be a certain kind of person to the public, and just to society in general. I viewed society as
mentally ill freak who lives in his own filth. Should be euthanized like the rabbit dog he is.
Well, I disavow that, but thank you for the $5.
You know, I never chose to be here. This was not up for discussion. I just spawned in here, and so it's like I have to follow these rules. I have to do all of these things. I have to be this kind of a person. And then, you know, when I was like 17, 18, 19, I asked myself, well, why am I doing this? And so I stopped doing all of that stuff, and I've done many degenerate things, none of which I regret. Nothing at all in my life that I've ever regretted at all. But you know, I would do things that a lot of people would consider to be very improper. Let's just say that. And so I never really viewed myself, I never really viewed it as like a good or a bad thing. I just, you know, simply existed, and I did what I would do. And that was it. Wonderful. And at that point, I pretty much
money off depressed people.
I get why he took the side of the give me ass or IKMS guy over the tuber who cheated in her early adult life. He relates to using that threat.
Oh yeah, that's true. He took the side of that guy, or like was very critical of the VTuber because she cheated. Anyway, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, that was weird. Didn't he delete the video in the end or something? I saw some vague drama about it.
Much had completely disconnected myself from the perception of other people. And this was at the same time, like growing up, my mom was, I think there was maybe 2 years or so where she made above the poverty level in terms of income. And so we basically barely skated by most of the time. And primarily the reason for that, honestly, is because my dad always paid child support, etc., at least until I was 18. And, you know, all that time, you know, she was able to skate by with that and pretty much survive.
He deleted it because somebody close to him told him to delete it, not because he believed it was wrong. I mean, that's also bad, is it not? Well, okay. To be fair, I've not looked at it, so I don't want to comment too much on it. But that doesn't seem to be a particularly good thing either.
high school was over, then obviously like that stopped, and then she wasn't able to support herself. So I was having to figure out ways to make money and try to like piece together money. She would borrow money sometimes from my dad, and it was in general like a very negative situation. And so we never really had any money. This was the time where I was pretty much ironically at the peak of my degeneracy. I was probably one of the highest rated warriors in WoW. At the time, it was great, but not necessarily in real life. And so at this point, I had pretty much completely disconnected myself from the way that people saw me. And I stopped caring about the way that people saw me because I pretty much gave up on being like a normal person.
Okay, you know this guy's used piss bottles, right? You know 100% this guy's had a fucking World of Warcraft sesh, which has involved using a piss bottle so he doesn't have to step away from his computer.
I gave up on being accepted by the public. I gave up on living a normal life or, having a family or anything like that. I just felt like I just was not capable of that based off of my...
Wait, there's quite a few people in chat that are saying, haven't we all? Are you... Wait. You guys have used piss bottles too.
My experiences that I had, and I had many other ones too. Like I stabbed somebody.
Bro, if you're in the car and there's no stops coming up and you can't, for whatever reason, like you're on a fucking freeway or whatever and you can't get out on the side of the road in an extreme circumstance, I can understand people doing it then. But, when you just don't want to step away because you're in the middle of a game, that's obviously deranged behavior.
And a few other things too. I probably wouldn't even say because it would too drastically alter people's perception of me. But either way, a lot of these instances where I kind of was like, okay, this is bad. Maybe it's better that I'm quarantined in my house. And so anyway, I did this a lot, and my mom and I, it was really just kind of the two of us. My dad was there, he was supportive, and he always has been supportive. But other than that, I do have family, but none of them live in the state of Texas. And so any trouble...
That's why you were never the #1 warrior. Okay, I never even played World of Warcraft or whatever fucking game. So, maybe that's what it takes.
Any problems, anything like that, it was pretty much entirely on me to resolve this issue. And so take care of my mom, pay for things, anything like that, it was always on me. And her health started deteriorating at about the same time. This is big surprise. You smoke since you're 16. You spend your entire time smoking cigarettes, watching Ancient Aliens, and fucking around on the internet playing WoW, and you're overweight massive.
He needs to call for a wellness check on Asmongold.
Okay.
He lives in filth and thinks it's totally normal because he is a warrior in WoW.
Mocha, thank you for the super
that's
chat.
Wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Turkey Tom called him out. Oh, do you have a video of that? That might be worth watching as a follow-up to this, because I didn't follow any of that drama with Asmongold, the Asmongold part.
How do I make money off depressed people?
This is Ray from Trailer Park Boys. I have a message for this British man named Chud. Way of the road, boys. Piss jugs and VLTs. Fucking way she goes.
Okay. Thank you for the super chat.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
If it takes you pissing in a bottle to be #1 at something, this isn't mental illness.
Yeah. I think that, if you think that you need to be so connected to a game that you need to piss in a bottle, that's indicative of some sort of mental illness issue, something you probably need to look at, because it is like such antisocial and abnormal behavior.
Like she was, this isn't good for your health, especially when you're getting into your 60s, which she was at that time, because she had me when she was like 39 and a half or 40 or something. And so at this point, her health was deteriorating, and I remember like she had like a number of instances where like I would like wake up and I hear her like screaming because she would like I don't even really know what the fuck was wrong with her. I don't know. It was like a weird thing where like she couldn't see out of her eye, and then she had like some kind of like I think like a bleed in her eye, and then she had like I think it wasn't really a heart attack. There was like some sort of like variation of that, and I remember like her
guy peaked gold in Apex and said, "Yeah, that'll do." Embarrassing, dude. I got to diamond a couple of times, I think, at least once. I got to diamond at least once, okay? But yes. Normally it was platinum. Gold, not gold. I was minimum platinum And a couple of times I got into diamond.
Her like begging me not to call the ambulance, and this is just like, and this is at the same time that the house is fucking, we can barely pay for the house. We're worried about getting evicted from the house. We have no AC, or no, we did have AC. We didn't have heat, and so I would.
Dude, it's not called getting carried. It's called teamwork. Okay. If you had piss maxed, maybe you'd have hit Predator. Dude. We need to work on... Is that what they do with professionals? We've got to work on your piss maxing. TSM or whatever the fuck. Piss maxing to get to fucking the ELGS thing.
I'd go to sleep and like the house would be so cold because I would just give her the heater. And I always viewed it as like, I'm sleeping out on Mount Everest, right? It's like, I'm cosplaying as Bear Grylls. And I remember like my glass of water in my room, there would have like ice crystals on the edge of it, right? Because of how fucking cold it was. And so I did that really for like 2 years. And so we had like basically like zero money. And so this happened, and pretty much like her health would deteriorate more and more and more to the point where she couldn't drive, she couldn't do X, she couldn't do Y, she couldn't get a job anymore. And then it relied on me more and more to completely support her in like pretty much all ways. And I remember she would like beg.
Dude, I tell you what, I was actually thinking about playing some Apex at some point. I've not played for probably nearly a year at this point.
Can we please get a Legend of Zelda game made by From Software? I'm so sick of this femboy Link bullshit. I'm so sick of this, like, limp dick, like, weird, bright, like, no, bro. Like, let's go back to the Link to the Past, the Dark World, Dark Fantasy, fucking, like, Savage, like, the Triforce, the real shit, man. What happened to that? It's like the Legend of Zelda is being made for girls now.
What was that? I don't understand the point of that clip. But thank you very much. It was called something about Tom Zoo. I thought he was going to do an Asian accent.
On the ground, like crying, begging me not to call an ambulance. And so this was very upsetting for me, by the way. I got to the point where, like, at this time period, I would wake up, like, every 2 hours or so with, like a weird thing where I would hear her screaming my name. And this went on for maybe, like, 6 months to a year. And also I want to say that, like, all of this stuff and everything about it, I don't really, like, everybody in life has problems, and I hope that by sharing my problems, people can kind of see where I'm coming from as a person. I don't really care about sympathy. I don't care about people feeling bad for me. I don't really give a fuck. It doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
So
I guess it's probably true.
I hope that nobody thinks that this is coming off as any form of a, like sympathy play. I've had things bad happen in my life. I think that in many cases they've been my fault. I've deserved them. But this is just what's happened. And so anyway,
I don't know. I don't think he wants sympathy. I don't think he cares about stuff like that. Bro, if you cared about the perception of you in that way, I don't know, dude. I feel like you'd probably clean up the fucking dead rat or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, listen. I guess I'm just waiting for the point at which I see some sort of justification or understanding of why he lives like a complete degenerate, despite being a multi-millionaire streamer.
And every action and every outcome in my life leading up to now has led me to the position that I am right now.
Yeah, I think that's probably it, isn't it? He doesn't want sympathy. He wants to be seen as the epic Sigma male with a storied history. That's probably closer to the truth. Did Chud rate review Garth Brooks yet? No, I'm not familiar with that. What's that?
And I think that in a lot of cases, I'm happy with how I am. And you can't just go back and edit out all the bad parts and expect to be in the good part. And so at the same time this was happening, like a lot of my friends were obviously going through college, finishing college, having girlfriends, like moving in and everything. And I was worried about, number one, my mom dying. Number two, being homeless. And number three, at that point, I had always assumed that I would kill myself after high school. Like, that was my plan. And,
This is like such a crazy thing to say. Just plainly like that. Oh, I thought I'd kill myself after high school. Who thinks like that? And who would then express it later? He's just saying it like that. It's just so trivial.
Wrath of the Lich King came out, and I just got distracted. I forgot. And so I ended up not doing that. And because of that, I never brushed my teeth in high school. Never really gave a fuck about it. Never cared. And this caused, guess what that causes? It causes your teeth to rot out. And so a lot of my teeth had to be, I had to get fillings and everything as a teenager. And my dad paid for a lot of it, which he was very, very unhappy about. And so these fillings would come out. This is what happens with fillings or anything like that. And they did come out, and then, of course, my teeth deteriorated naturally because I love soda. I love drinking soda. I've got a soda right over there. Went to McDonald's earlier today. Really, really like soda. Like it so much that right now I only have 5 real teeth left in my whole mouth. And I think you start with like 32, which is kind of crazy to think. And so, anyway, this happened. And all my teeth were starting to rot out. I was not able to eat with one side of my...
Now listen, obviously, I come from the land of bad dentistry, but to have only 5 real teeth left at his age is fucking... That's nuts, dude. That is some pretty serious lack of dental care to only have 5 real teeth left. That's the kind of shit you get to when you're like, 50, 60 or whatever, Unless you've got exceptional dental care, your teeth will eventually rot out because, as you get older and stuff. But, bro, what the fuck?
My mouth, I would have these toothaches that would get so bad that I would pass out from the pain. And I eventually had to go to basically...
That's genetic mainly. Lots of people don't brush their teeth and are fine. I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure that tooth decay is just a product of not removing plaque, and it builds up and it eats away at your tooth enamel. No? Is that not how it works? I'm pretty sure.
If you're like... The people that really get fucked by medical bills are the people that are in the middle of economically, because if you're broke, they'll do shit for you for $10. If they can get anything, they'll do it.
Well.
So I had a program like that, and so they would have to pull out my...
Yeah, sure. But you know what I'm saying, right? It's like not cleaning your teeth of the stuff that eats away at it.
My teeth kind of regularly, and that's how I lost. I have no back teeth at all. That's why if you look at my jawline, it's very different than if you look at it from high school or by the age of 19 or 20. It's completely changed because I've lost all of my teeth and my jaw bone is pretty much rotted out. And so, which as far as I know is unfixable, at least in the way that I have this problem.
Wait, what did he just say?
And so I had a program like that, and so they would have to pull out my teeth kind of regularly. And that's how I lost. I have no back teeth at all. That's why if you look at my jawline, it's very different than if you look at it from high school or by the age of 19 or 20. It's completely...
Bro!
Do you know what it does to you? Hydrogen cyanide?
Bro! This is fucking Asmongold. Dude.
Changed because I've lost all of my teeth and my jaw bone is pretty much rotted out. And so, which as far as I know is unfixable, at least in the way that I have this problem. There's a separate problem that is fixable. I don't have that one. I talked to a dentist about it. So it's basically irreversibly fucked. And so anyway, this happened, and it was not a great time. My teeth were rotting out, etc. And at that point, I had to completely, pretty much give up the notion and give up the dream of ever being a normal person. At that point, I could feel myself no longer being the same as anybody else, right? And
no back teeth equals good BJs. Are you sat here fantasizing about an Asmongold sloppy toppy? You are fucking insane.
I actually, for a while, I really hated it, but then I got used to it, and then I embraced it, and I think that's where I am now. So I would say that was from ages I would say 13 to I don't know 21, somewhere around there, right? Then after that, I started doing other stuff. I was playing WoW. I was making videos. I was doing other random things, right? And my mom's like health pretty much would always get worse, and that's just that's just the way it is when you get older, right? And so I would have to do my best to like take care of her, and worked at the IRS for a while. Tried to work at Sam's Club. Didn't really
No
go
Country
very
for
well.
Old Men.
But
Great
overall,
movie.
I tried to go back to college. I do have a college degree, if you can imagine that, but learned more from business from WoW than I did from business school. And so then
Wait,
I
what?
go back to college. I do have a college degree, if you can imagine that, but learned more from business from WoW than I did from business school. And so then
I've not played WoW, so I can't really speak to that. Is there any truth in that? Are there like business skills you can learn from WoW? I don't know. I've never played WoW before. That sounds absurd, but I don't want to, get it wrong. No, that's cope. Technically, kinda. Buy low, sell high. Trading, maybe.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
This just sounds like somebody trying to be an edgy anime villain.
Yes, Musty. Thank you for the $10. Yeah, I think that's what people are saying. Is like it just sounds like he wants to have this rough storied history, and he wants to sound based in doing so. But he's dressed it up as, oh, here's why I live like a total freak.
spent that time, and then this was all the time, like, me not knowing if she would, every day I would wake up and, like, hear that voice in my mind, and, like, it was really, really bad. And this is just something I would do all the time, and I try to always make the best out of things. I try to just, not think about it, but, looking back on it, things were very, very bad. And so anyway, fast forward a little bit later, and that's whenever I was, like, going back to college. I thought that I would just, basically have a shitty job, play video games for my whole life, and then die, right? And then I got a shitty job, and I realized a shitty job is actually a lot more shitty than I thought it would be.
Quick charge, you'll need to transform into an utterly disgusting wretch. Well, I'm halfway there already, so that we can get the clickbait. I mean, look, obviously, like, for example, on my desk at the moment, there's like, 4 cans, 5 cans, empty bottle of this stuff I had earlier. It gets, you can be a bit lazy, right? You don't immediately take out something. Your desk has like a few things on there. But I couldn't get to the point where it's everywhere, right? It reaches a point at my most extreme, when I'm at my most lazy, that I'm like, okay, dude, I've got to take the fucking recycling out. This is too much. Like, I'm not the kind of person that puts every single can in the recycling as soon as I've finished it. But, I mean, it's like, it gets to a point where you're like, okay, like, I need to fucking tidy up, man. This is getting too much. And that point is like way before whatever fucking Asmongold's point is. Maybe when I was like in my early 20s, I was, lazy at times and it got bad. But I just don't think it ever got as bad as Asmongold bad. Like, that's next level,
So then I remember it was probably like one of the best things that ever happened to me is that I took this job at Sam's Club, and I hated it so much it actually encouraged me to make myself a better person, if you can imagine that. And so I signed up to go back to university and finish another degree that I was working on so I could go to law school. Actually, I wanted to be a lawyer, basically because I had a friend in high school. We would always play Magic the Gathering, and I could see him. He would always manipulate the rules to come out ahead and win different, like, arguments in Magic the Gathering. And I was like, I bet lawyers do that in real life. I should do that myself. And so that was always my motivation. And anyway, I did that, and then, a number of other things, random things that are not, I would say like YouTube or public safe that I did. And then after that,
Wait, what is that? That sounds like the good stuff. What? Wait. What is he talking about?
I started doing YouTube, and then I started doing YouTube, and I focused on that. And I would put videos out of the way that I lived, etc. And people would always find it to be very funny or like weird, and everybody would like really like. There were a lot of people, and this is true even now, people that like hate me for living the way that I do. And I think that really, people look at a person like me and they see a person who has
I couldn't understand hating Asmongold for this. Like, hating him. Like, it's his life. If he wants to live like a total wretch, I mean, that's his decision. And I couldn't hate someone for that. It's just looking at it and just being like, oh, it's gross. Like, I think it's gross and pitiful. That's my kind of response to it. But do people genuinely hate him for the way that he leaves? That seems crazy.
How do I make money off depressed people?
Thank you for the super chat. Asmon was Sensei Ledoux in high school, probably.
Has a number of things in their life that they wish they had, but I've done basically, you know, if you look at it from like, what do they tell you to do when you're growing up? You know, I used every single thing to do as a checklist of what not to do, right? And so, you know, I think that a lot of people could be a little bit, you know, annoyed by that. And so I can see why, and etc.
Yes, and he steals. Oh, dude. Okay, bro. I just can't bring myself to care that much about. Was that the React thing? Is that what you mean?
And it is disgusting, by the way. And so, you know, missing half your teeth and, you know, living in a dump with a dead rat alarm clock. You don't know if your mom's going to be alive that day. You've got no money. You have to support her. She's never going to be able to support herself. And things are just basically slowly getting worse and worse and worse. And I started doing YouTube, and things started doing a little bit better. I started doing streaming. Things were doing better then. I went to get my teeth fixed, because if you look at my old videos, a lot of my old videos, you'd notice that I smile. You know, when I smile, I cover my mouth when I smile. The reason for that is this isn't Saikuno, where I don't like my smile. Yeah, well, I don't like my smile. It's not because I think it's ugly. It's because I didn't have any fucking teeth. And I didn't want people to see that. And so that's why I would cover my mouth a lot whenever I first started streaming. And so this happened to me for a long time. I go to the dentist, and they tell me it's going to be like around $50,000 to get all my teeth fixed and everything taken care of. Then I thought, maybe, because it was the first time at that point where I kind of like, it really hit me that I had like irreversibly and irreparably damaged my life in a way that I couldn't just immediately like undo. Because like as a kid, you know, usually you make a mistake where it's like you scrape your knee and then, well, you put a bandage on and it gets better. But with this, it never was going to get better, and it's only going to get worse, and it certainly has, by the way. And so anyway, I did want to kill myself, but I decided instead of killing myself, I'd do something even worse.
He just said, who says it like that? It's such a trivial thing. I'm like, bro, I don't know. It just seems like a crazy. Oh, I thought about killing myself, actually. Wait. Literally everyone. No, they don't. That's not true at all. People do not talk about their own suicidal ideation like this. What, in a fucking million-view YouTube video? What are you on about? Yeah, maybe between very close personal friends, you might have some element of like, you know, triviality with serious things that have happened in your life. But doing it on a fucking video like this is mental.
I'd start streaming. And I started streaming because I wasn't really making enough money.
Pause Andy and let him finish. Shut the fuck up. I'll pause as much as I want, okay? In fact, I'm going to go back a couple of clicks because you said that. I'm going to pause it again just to annoy you specifically, individually in chat, okay? I'm going to talk for 20 minutes now because you complained about pause Andying.
With this, it never was going to get better, and it's only going to get worse, and it certainly has, by the way. And so, anyway, I did want to kill myself, but I decided instead of killing myself, I'd do something even worse. I'd start streaming. And I started streaming because I wasn't really making enough money. And everybody says, oh, well, I started streaming because, you know, I like interacting with people. It's because I was lonely. Well, I started streaming for money. I needed some fucking money. And so that's what I did. And I was like, guys, we've got a donation goal of $100, and, you know, if we get $100, I'm going to go to Wendy's tomorrow. And I would always meme it up, you know, $1 equals one donut, and it's like, you know, I would make a bunch of money, and it was great. And things actually did go very well. I streamed every single night. I was very dedicated. I tried to make things as entertaining as possible, and, you know, I did what I tried to do best, right? And things kind of got better, and they improved.
I mean, you know, I think that a lot of people dream. I mean, that's fair enough. It's honest, at least. You know, he's doing it for the money. I think that's fair enough. Kind of weird though, because most people when they start, they might have a goal of maybe making money eventually, but a lot of the time it is a hobbyist thing, and they recognize that probably they might make a few bucks here and there. But it seems like he was more committed to actually just making money out of it and chilling.
This happened just at pretty much the same time. A lot of my friends were kind of evolving and going past, like college. Like they were getting careers, getting married, having kids. And like now, I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure every single friend that I have is either married or has a.
Oh, he had a following from YouTube before he started streaming, Chud. Nice segue to shill. I've actually not. I don't think I've shilled that much today. But maybe later. Maybe later I'll shill.
Kid, which is kind of crazy considering that I'm sitting here doing what I'm doing, but it is kind of weird. I'm 34 now, which is honestly a fucking shock. Like I can't believe it. I don't feel 34. I feel like I'm still 16. But I look in the mirror, I see my hairline, and I think to myself, oh my god, wait a minute, I think I'm actually 34. And if I'm not sure, I talk to.
I know that feeling. I can relate to that. Hey, yeah, sure. Don't rest on your laurels, guys. Don't forget to support the stream. Plenty of ways to do it. Tips, subs, bits, kick subs, all that good stuff. All of it is appreciated. Couldn't do this without you. Thank you for listening to my show.
Somebody who's 16, and then I realized, hold up, wait a minute. No, actually, I am 34. Because there's no better way to realize that you're actually older until you talk to somebody who's actually younger. At least it is for me. So anyway, my stream was doing very well. My social life, really, I pretty much stopped interacting with a lot of friends of mine because I focused pretty much just on streaming and on making this as much as possible. And also, I'm a very introverted person in a lot of ways. I like being alone. I don't like people talking to me a whole lot. I don't like phone calls. I don't like interacting with people. I don't like going out. You guys might notice this, right? If it's, a mystery or secret. And so, big surprise, that's how it was. And then, I started streaming. My stream started doing better. And there was a degree.
Oh, dude. Someone just said new Big Bungie video. It's not something I watched on stream. The Boys Season 4. It's so funny that he's just put that out because I've been thinking, should I give The Boys Season 4 a go? I saw a clip of it, of Homelander telling a guy to get in the oven. It looked like a fun clip, but then I'm like, is the rest of it shit?
Of stress that created, but and in terms of my lifestyle and everything, living that way, I never really thought about it at that point. I never really worried too much about kind of how people would perceive me. I always viewed myself as this is just who I am. This is what I am. That's all there is to it. And I never really took, and I still.
How much money do you want? I want enough money to, have a life. I don't know. I'm not a particularly greedy person. So as long as I'm able to pay my bills and save for a house and eventually buy a house, I'm quite happy. I don't think I'm a particularly greedy person in that way. It was good, but some boring moments. The problem I think it's getting into already, having watched seasons up to season 3, is I think people have spoken about this element of Homelander's going to go real crazy,
but how do
and then
I
it just
make
never
money
happens.
Off depressed people?
And it's the
Don't
same
worry
shit
about
again and
shilling.
again.
I'm on my way home from a client consultation. I can't wait to give you that money I made
Damn.
while we watched that soy boy cry about his Patreon yesterday.
Thank you, Musty. Thank you very much. Appreciate the shilling and the tease of yet more. Appreciate the support and the tease of yet more support. I very much appreciate that. Thank you. But maybe I'll give it a go. I just, it's already okay, I get it. Yeah, something crazy is gonna happen, and they tease stuff, and it never happens. Yeah.
Don't really take any criticism.
The guy yesterday was called Solari. That was the name of the guy yesterday.
Or any negativity to heart. I don't take it personally. I don't really care a whole lot. And so at the end of the day, it never really bothered me, and people thought it was funny. And so, I had a snack box, and there were maggots in the snack box, and then I would eat the food with the maggots inside of the food. It was honey buns, which were
whoa, what was this?
To heart. I don't take it personally. I don't really care a whole lot. And so at the end of the day, it never really bothered me, and people thought it was funny. And so, I had like these a snack box, and there were like maggots in the snack box, and I would eat the food with the maggots inside of the food. It was like honey buns, which were really, really good. And to be honest, I didn't even really taste them. So it was pretty much the same thing. Didn't even bother me. And so, I
wonderful.
had.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Don't spend this on prostitutes.
Thank you for the $5. That is like next level degeneracy living, though. That's worse than like a rat alarm clock. You're knowingly eating food with maggots in. I'm just like, what? He's just saying this like it's the most normal thing in the world. That's like goblin tier behavior. Maggots. OG rotter.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
He talks about all this like it's totally
I know,
normal.
right?
What?
Yes, exactly, Mocha. It's fucking insane. This entire video is about how he's a weird freak, and you keep being surprised at him being a weird freak. Okay, can we stop acting like there's not levels to this? Bro, knowingly eating food that's infested with maggots is crazy behavior that's on another level to what I know about him already.
Like taken at that point, my teeth had like totally rotten out. And so I had taken pliers to like break pieces of my teeth off, even, like if I wasn't able to speak during a stream, because like a point was like, poking my tongue, or like, playing a game or something like that, talking to people. And so I still have the pliers actually in my bathroom from all the way back then. And so this had happened for quite a while. And then I guess you could say I started like, I guess like the second phase of my life of like trying.
I'll save you a few hours, Chud. In The Boys Season 4, everyone's an asshole and Butcher fucks around and somehow stays on the team. Homelander starts getting angry and kills people. Right?
To remove myself from like caring about being worried about the outcome of other people. It was always very scary for me to know that my
horror cow. I don't know if Asmongold has got like a kiwi farm stud or something, but this is the kind of behavior that you would expect from someone who is like a horror cow, like the way he's describing it. But I guess because he's like a success. I mean, this guy runs a fucking successful streamer business. He's fucking eating maggot. Has in the past at one point at least.
That's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed
eating
people?
maggot-wrinkled food?
Since you didn't tell me exactly how much you want.
Thank you for the 20 SAR. Appreciate that. Well, dude, I don't. People should give as much as they think my efforts are worth. Okay, let's put it at that. But thank you very much, Mocha. Do appreciate that.
My mom would die one day, right? This was extremely scary. This was like the one thing that I didn't want to have happen. And in 2021, it did happen. And so leading up to that was incredibly stressful. She pretty much did everything that she possibly could. I love her, but she did every fucking thing that she could to make things as absolutely unpleasant as possible. Oh my God. And so, yes. It was very frustrating to deal with somebody like that. But, she was 70 at the time. And so it really, really, really hurt. And it's like she was the main person in my life that I was like most connected to. And like, this is the person that I had like the deepest emotional connection with.
Okay,
and to just lose them. And it was kind of random, by the way. Like,
the Sardinians eat a maggot-infested cheese called Kazumatsu. You call them cultured. Yet you call Asmon a horror.
Bro.
Hypocrisy much?
It's funny you mention that. I know about that cheese, and I think it sounds grotesque. I know exactly what you're on about. And yeah, I think the same thing about that. Wait, dude, I know you're fucking around with your donut, but bro, I do not call that cultured. I think that's gross. Ugh, gross.
Things got worse over time, but it was nothing like at the very end there. It just kind of went off a fucking cliff. And so this happened, and then at about the same time, a little bit after that, I also...
It's so tasty, but I never thought of it from a foreigner's perspective. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you live in an area where that's a thing, it's normal to you. I mean, there's some places in the world where they literally just eat bugs. Like, There's like tins of bugs and stuff that you can get. Look, giant water bugs in a tin in some fucking brown country. I mean, dude, it's fucking insane. They're trying to push it on us, aren't they? But we're saying, no, we don't want to eat the bugs. Here's a classic example. Eat the bugs. Okay, it's fucking blocked. But, you know, you get the gist. 11 bugs you can eat. Hey, guys, look at all these great bugs you can eat. No, thank you.
Broke up with a long-term girlfriend at the time, and then at the same time my dad got so fucking sick that we were like talking about writing his will, like, and he's still setting all that up because he doesn't know if this shit's gonna happen again, right? What's gonna be? And he's 77 too, so it's rough, right? It's bad. And he went through pneumonia 4 fucking times in a year. And so, and he's still getting around, you know, going to the store, etc. But I got to help him every once in a while too, right? And it is what it is. And so again, and you know, we don't have any family around here, and so, you know, if something goes wrong, if something's bad, there's one person who's responsible.
If you think Italian food is dirty, can't wait until you realize what Indians put in their food.
Dude. Yes, if you go to India to a street market, you're probably eating food that's been handled with hands that haven't been washed after someone's taken a shit, okay? But obviously, in the UK, if you go to like an Indian restaurant, it's all perfectly fine. It's all above board. There's food hygiene standards you've got to adhere to, okay? Like, it's just fine. You guys are so racist. It's unbelievable.
Responsible for that, and that's me. And so that's a lot of stress. It's a lot of pressure, right? And you know, I had all 3 of these things happen to me within pretty much 1 year of each other, maybe 2 years with the thing with my dad. And so at that point, I began the second part of, I think that, like, you know, my you know, abstraction of reality is that.
New Big Bungie video reacts. I don't know if you're trying to use the search bar or something, but no, you cannot just type something in and I do it, okay? I'm not going to react to Big Bungie's video about the boys because I've not even seen season 4 yet. I'm still deciding whether or not I'm going to watch it, okay? But I'm sure that some people who are interested in it might do.
I've tried my best to remove myself from caring about other people as much as I can, and not caring about them in terms of, like, you know, being friendly. Of course I'm friendly with people, but being emotionally attached to having them in my life, being emotionally attached to the way that they feel about me and how they're doing. It's been very hard for me to.
How do I make money off depressed people?
Yes, I'm racist.
Thank you for the super chat.
Actually have any sort of feelings towards people when it seems like everybody that was important to me is fucking dying. And so this or leaving me, right? Or
yeah, Isaac, I've got it lined up somewhere. Well, I've got the one that he unlisted to watch, so we'll get to that today, probably.
So at a certain point, you just kind of get away from that. And then after that, you know, we entered into, I would say, the third phase, which is the point where I you know, lose the connection with myself. And I think that whenever I finally do that, I think that maybe one day I might be happy.
Don't the English literally fry a turd, then call it a sausage? The fucking memes about British food have gotten so out of hand that you think we eat fried shit. You guys have fucking lost the plot. I swear to God. This narrative about British food is so wrong, and you guys don't even fucking realise it. And it's, you know... What, dude? It's like, I want to bring you over and show you, hey, this stuff's alright. Look, beans on toast is perfectly fine. Fried shit is preferable to mushy peas on chips.
Again. And what I mean by that is that I always worry about, like, dying and, you know, all this stuff and, like, how I'm, you know, like, where do you go? What happens, right? And it would be very, very stressful for me. And I usually reassure myself by reminding myself that I'm just a hyper-intelligent monkey.
Chud eats poop sausage. You guys, that's actually making me feel sick, okay? Dude, the bugs, the poop sausage, can we just have a bit of sensibility here? I'm fucking, dude, it's too much. I feel nauseous.
Monkey that probably evolved too fast. And I think that we all are, by the way. It's not like I'm special. And that usually is oddly reassuring But otherwise, it was very stressful for me, and I did think that I was farther along. I thought I would be okay with dying until I thought that I was dying, and then I realized that I wasn't as far along as I thought I.
The most famous British cuisine is spud with beans. Is that even true? Anyway, thank you very much.
I was recently whenever I had a blood pressure reading of 194, which is a high score so far. At least so far. And so,
dude, now I'm getting fucking. Oh my god, dude.
So things have been improving since then, by the way. But anyway, this has been, my life. And
you think that doesn't happen here? Well, yeah, of course. Okay. Of course. There are issues like this. I mean, there was a controversy where there was lasagnas made out of horse meat, and that was like a big news story over here. But it's like, I don't think it's to this degree, and also there are standards which are, enforced, right? The rigorousness of the enforcement is debatable, but there are standards that get enforced, and places get shut down if they don't, meet the right standards of stuff.
Right? And I stopped really caring about anything. I stopped caring about what happens to me. I stopped caring about what happens to other people. I stopped caring about what people think about me. And I felt that the more that I have, the more that I've cared about things, the more unhappy I've been as a person. And I think that this is true on like a base level. Is this some sort of pathological problem for me? I think it probably is. But at the end of the day, this is the best way that I know to cope with it, right? And so for me, the way that I live and everything is a manifestation of that. It's always been this way for me. My mom, like growing up, things were pretty messy, etc. But then even now, things are worse than they ever have been in terms of like being messy. But, I never really think about it or worry about it because I'm just never really, it doesn't even cross my mind. I'm thinking about things that I want to think about. I'm doing things that I want to do. And I never think about what other people think about me. I don't think about how it affects other people. I don't think about how they feel or anything like that. And it might sound like a bad thing, but it's made me a happier and more fulfilled person, not worrying about anybody else really other than myself unless I have to. And it's been...
This feels like a total cope, dude. Like, you're happier just living like that. I mean, dude, I just think that feeling when you clean your place and you're like, oh, that's better. You can almost like think more clearly when you've got like a nice clean place, you've tidied everything up, etc. So I don't buy this idea that, writhing around in filth actually makes you happier. It just seems like cope to deal with the fact that, no, this is not like a normal thing to do.
Very, weird for me, getting older especially, and, like having, like, priorities change in your life and, having different things happen to you. And so I wanted to make this video and kind of, like, explain, like, kind of how I got to be this way. And hopefully a little bit of this can, like, explain why do I behave this way? Why am I like this? Why do I have no shame with things, right?
Alexa, put on new Big Bungie video, Chudlogic React.
It's because I've lived a life where I've tried desperately to hold on to any degree of dignity that I've had and anything that I've had, and it's just slowly been taken away from me. Whether it's myself, pieces of myself, other people, or the way that the world sees me. I think that the more that I've kind of just, let things flow freely and not care about it, the more happy and content that I've been. And so it's an ongoing process, and began whenever I said, I guess I said I was like 13. And, I guess the last thing for me to do is really to let go of myself and, just finally be content with my own existence for the time that I exist. And I'm not really a religious person. I'm not a spiritual person either. I don't believe there's any light at the end of the tunnel. I definitely don't think so. And I just try to make the best of being in the tunnel. And so that's why I live the way that I do. That's why I do the things that I do. That's why I say the things that I do. That's why a lot of criticism and things like this, of course I don't like it. Of course I don't like it. But it doesn't really emotionally affect me in the same way that I think it does for other people. And it used to affect me a lot more, but I've, gotten a little bit better, at least, at dealing with it. And so hopefully this can answer some questions.
Also, if you're sat there and it's filthy and it doesn't emotionally affect you, isn't that in and of itself a sign that you've got like some issue that you need to resolve? I don't know. It seems crazy to me that he's like rationalizing this insane way of living.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Chud and chat, let me play you the song of my people.
Thank you, Musty, for the $10. Well, I'm guessing he's just putting out a video so he can finally address all of these people, Oh.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
Dude.
Became a member.
Obviously, it's going to name 50 individual people, so we'll just turn the sound off for that. But thank you very much. Holy fuck, dude. That's crazy. 50 gifted memberships is nuts. You legend. Thank you. Thank you so much for the 50 gifted memberships. Oh my god, bro. That is insane. Oh, dude, that's blown me away. Thank you very much. Musty is indeed a guy we can trusty. Thank you very much. But yeah, those will all sort of cycle through. Oh, Gringle, how's it going? Hope you're well. Thank you. I'll read this out because obviously it's just a thing. It's weird that, like, in a general, Asmon is usually quite reasonable with his commentary, but then with this, he's just insane. Dude, I was thinking this earlier, right? And it's like, yes, exactly. I listen to Asmongold sometimes. I mean, he's not right about everything, but I don't think. But some stuff, I'm like, okay, he's got a pretty good take on this, pretty solid take. Oh my god, dude. What the... Bro. What the fuck? Musty just tipped us $740, bro. That's crazy. Holy fuck, dude. That is insane. Fuck. That's the biggest donor I've ever had. Holy fuck. That's crazy. Profits from yesterday. I cannot thank you enough for the very generous $740 tip you just gave me. Fuck, dude. Profit split 50-50 from yesterday. Bro, that is insane. Jesus. That's crazy. I've never seen anything like that before. Holy fuck. Thank you so much. Bro, that's more than Solari makes in like two and a bit months, isn't it? Don't let Solari see that. He might top himself. Thank you so much. That's super generous. Thank you. Anyway, listen, I could spend more time thanking you for that, but we've got to continue with the content. But thank you so much for that. It's very much appreciated. And Jade, I understand him, but my boyfriend makes me clean, lol. Otherwise, I'm a gremlin in my cave making art. Yeah, I don't know. Dude, there's a natural tendency to want to live in a clean environment. And if you don't have that, you've obviously got a problem. Jesus Christ, dude, I'm blown away. Holy fuck.
And kind of give people a little bit more insight into my life and the kind of person I am. And that's pretty much about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have to cover. 30-minute video. Actually, I was expecting it to be longer. So, that's my life story. That's what's happened to me in general. And that's why I am the way I am. And will I ever change? Maybe, maybe not, right? I mean, I honestly, like, maybe.
Gamble it all or nothing, all on black. I can't, dude, I'm not a gambler, okay? I've been thinking about, should I gamble, from time to time, because I get adverts for it and stuff, especially after the Monopoly Go sponsorship. But it's a bad idea. You should not gamble. I will not be gambling. Do not worry.
Making a lot of money on Twitch and, like the notoriety and everything, like people recognize you. I mean, I mean, I guess it's nice, right? And I mean, sometimes having money is way better than not having money. But in terms of like, having a lot of wealth, I live in my same house. I use my same desk. I, for a very long time drove my same car. I eat in the same places. I do the same things. I really haven't changed at all, honestly, ever since I.
Yeah, I think this is probably true, but like, what he's got no kids. Maybe he's going to become a father at some point. I don't know, but like, what's going to happen to all that money? It just seems like you would want a goal with it, or you'd want to move forward in some way. But it's like he's just collecting money like a dragon, almost sitting on a pile of gold. Where's it going to go?
I was like younger, ever since my stream got popular, and maybe one day I will, maybe one day I won't. At the end of the day, I think that one thing that I've always really kind of focused on and thought about a lot is that I have complete and absolute agency over my own life. I can do anything that I want to do, and I can not do anything that I don't want to do. And I think that's been a very comforting fact. And so people
want to hop in a call? Yeah, let me finish the video, and if you want to talk, yeah, sure. Listen, okay. Obviously, I don't normally do, if you give me some money, you can hop on a call, but you just dropped a fucking insane amount of money, so sure, why not?
People ask me, like, are you ever going to do this?
We're going to get the musty
it's not
call.
something I'm really thinking about changing right now.
Cash for questions.
But in the future, I might change my mind. I just don't know yet. And so
Chud
I just try to live life and enjoy it and, be able to experience things for the way that they're meant to be experienced. And really, I don't care a whole lot about that either. I don't care about, going out or having certain life experiences or, oh, you'll regret this. Well, who cares if you regret this when you're old? You're about to die anyway. It doesn't even matter. And so I've never really felt that way. It's just it's not in me. And so that's really my whole life. And that's why I live the way that I live. It's why I do things the way that I do things. And, maybe one day it'll change. Maybe one day it won't. Who the fuck knows? Tune in next time to find out. So anyway, guys, hopefully this is a little bit more informative, etc. And shit, I got an early end for the day. We had to record something early, so I came home. I figured I'd record this, and it's only 6 p.m., and so I don't know what the hell to do with myself now. I'm not streaming. I'm going to go walk around my house like an NPC. And so, I don't know what to do. I'm probably going to go play video games. So anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Thanks for listening if you've gotten this far. And things have been going great for me recently. And I want to say thank you to everybody who's been so supportive and everything. And, my best way that I can say thank you is by doing more of it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And that's about it. Peace.
Yeah, that was, it wasn't quite what I was expecting. I was hoping to get a bit more meat on the bone. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a bunch of cope. Someone said it about having a storied history. I think that part is true. I mean, he's obviously just a complete nutter when it comes to this stuff, which I probably kind of guessed already. But yeah.